schooling as well. So that's common to both. And importantly, both of these forms of education grant you a right to apply for higher education in Finland. So that's a really big selling point. Both of these are publicly funded, meaning no tuition fees. And then in order for you to study tuition free, you need to be studying in Finnish or in Swedish. That's not in the slide, but those two languages, if you conduct your studies in Finnish language, then they're tuition free. And so that's why I have on this slide that the Finnish language is a requirement. Now, what's different between high school and vocational school? In vocational school, VS, emphasis on practical knowledge and professional skills. It's less on theory. Now, all the programs have also theory as part of them, but the emphasis in the large picture is on practical knowledge and professional skills. Also, another key difference is that in vocational programs, you choose the vocational field already at the time of applying. So you don't just blanket all possible areas. You actually hone in on the field that you wish to study already at the time of applying. In comparison to high school, it's a general school. You don't have a specific field. And therefore, actually, when you graduate from vocational school, you're ready for employment. You can work, you can get employment. And that's not the case with high school. High school is a general degree, and it doesn't really grant a way to work. There is further reading available for those who are interested. Now, a little bit more about vocational schooling. What does it mean? The key to understanding vocational education in Finland is that to learn skills and knowledge needed in the working life is really central to the vocational schooling. So vocational schooling has to be aware of what is going on in the working environment. And so that's actually it poses a question: how do schools and how do the students of vocational students, how do they gain understanding for what's going on in the workplace? Well, here are a couple examples of how this is done. First of all, if you attend a vocational school in Finland, you are to perform practical training in real work-life situations. So you actually practice at the workplace, and that's by design so that you know what's going on in the workplace. But that doesn't really help the school understand what's going on in the workplace. So vocational schools are required to maintain a dialogue, to have a constant exchange of information with the working life in order for the schools to understand what is hot in the workplace. What do the schools need to do in order to make sure that the students can gainfully get employed after they graduate? Third point is that the government writes the lesson plans for vocational schooling in Finland. And so those plans are frequently reviewed by the government and renewed by the government officials to stay abreast with the latest developments in working life. As you can easily understand, work life is not constant. There are new technologies. For example, the computers have brought a lot along with them to the work life. And the last thing, this may not be so obvious to the student, but government funding for schools is actually partly based on how well the students get employed after they graduate. So part of the money to the school is dependent on whether their students get a job after they graduate or not. Couple trends, a little more about vocational schooling in Finland. First part of this slide is at the time of applying to become a student. These are some of the trends. Like I already mentioned, you apply to a vocational school, you apply actually to a field. In some cases, you actually apply to a subfield, not just a large content area, but a specific subfield within that content area. A good example of this is restaurant and catering field, because you apply to the subfields. You apply to become a cook, or you apply to become a server, wait staff, etc., etc. So these are the ways in which you will. This is a general trend in applying to vocational school. Another thing that doesn't get mentioned often enough is that when you go to an entrance interview, you need to be able to convey motivation for the field. So the schools are very interested in people that are motivated. They have some reason to become a student in that area. So that's something for you to keep in mind. Now, during the studies, when you study in vocational education in Finland, you're going to encounter a lot of hands-on training. So, as I already mentioned, not so much theory, but a lot of hands-on training. And with that also comes the next bullet. Instead of written tests, you often have to demonstrate your competence. You have to demonstrate in real life the action or skill that you have mastered. And so you get check marks for learning by doing, and this is how you do a lot of the professional studies. It's not so much writing a test answers as it is the showing that you actually know how to do a certain competence area. And then one thing to understand already at the get-go is that there's a lot of individuality in these studies. You actually, for every student, there's an individual pedagogical study plan drafted. And this is agreement between you, the student, and the school about how you are planning to go about those studies. You get a lot of guidance for this. But actually, this last point is major in understanding why sometimes you don't go to school for 3 years. You can graduate, say, in 2 years. If you already know a lot of things in the content area, there's no point in teaching you something you already know. So that's how people get through the program quicker than in 3 years' time. An example from this spring, our previous Finnish Future language students, they were in nursing program. They went through the program in 1.5 years flat. So that's considerably less than 3 years of studying time. All right, vocational degree structure. I'm not going to go very deeply into this slide, but it is for you to understand that there are several different content areas. This example is the degree for practical nursing, but same concept applies to pretty much all of vocational degrees. I'm going to start from the right-hand side. For all students, there are certain common modules, like language communication studies, there's mathematical and science studies, and there's social and professional skill development. And these things in particular are for your own benefit, but they're also the kinds of skills that you need if you ever want to go further after you graduate, say, to a university or some other venue of higher learning. So these common modules are good for that. Now, every vocational degree has mandatory vocational modules. Those are the modules that every student has to pass through. I'm not saying that they're somehow really hard or difficult. It's just something that's considered the core of that field. And then there are modules that the student can choose. So those are voluntary, those are electives, as it's called. And so depending on what you want to specialize in, you can then choose special modules from the school's offering. Now, this is important to say, there are no dead ends in the Finnish educational system. So vocational schooling, once you complete your vocational qualification, i.e. when you graduate, you're on level 4, and so there are ways to go forward. It gives you eligibility to apply for university. Note my words, I said to apply for university or higher learning, you will have to pass an exam. So it's not something that you can consider that I just want to sign up. No, you actually have to apply and pass through the exam. But this gives you eligibility to higher education, and it is tuition free. So moving on to a second part, why consider Finland? Now, I'm not going to go through the big reasons that we all heard: the happiest nation on earth, the 7th time in a row, excellent school system, clean water and earth, etc., etc. If these were some concepts that you weren't aware of, I provided a couple of links. But this is something that comes from the school side, and I guess I'm going to try to answer the question, why are schools in Finland looking for students? Why are they looking to hire students? And so the key to understanding that is to realize that the birth rates have started to take a dive roughly about 10 to 15 years ago in this nation. By the way, we're not the only Western nation that has encountered this issue. Now I'm going to show you a couple graphs. Hopefully these make some sense. On the left-hand side, this graph is about the development of this population age-wise. On the left, you can see age brackets. For example, 30 to 34-year-olds. And in red, you have last year's count. Men are on the left, women are on the right. And then in blue is the year 2070. So that's way far in the future. But you can see, I was talking about 30 to 34-year-olds. You can see how the number of those persons dwindles if no change is going to happen. And so that's the essence of the problem, is that you can see how this whole shape of this pyramid changes, and that's what I'm talking about. There's going to be less and less people, in this case, less and less students for schools. There's another way of looking at this. You can see trends in, these are over 64-year-olds. You can see how, as years go forward, the number keeps growing. But this is what's alarming. There's going to be less and less of the 15 to 64-year-olds, the working age, and also less and less of under 15-year-olds. And these are the things that are problematic for, we don't want to end up like Japan. Okay, and here's one more way of showing this. We can see the years 2000, 2010, 2020, and this was last year, 2023. In yellow here is the births, and you can see how births have actually, like I said, within the last 15 years or so, the number of births have actually dwindled down to 43,000 last year. At the same time, this is the number of deaths in Finland. And so actually this line is important. You can see how in 2000, the population actually grew, not drastically, but it grew. But last year, just from this, not figuring in immigration, we lost about 18,000 people. I know that these numbers are very small in comparison to your nation, but or your nations, but that's what we have here. Now, here's an interesting part: immigration. The numbers in 2000, about 17,000 people inhabited, uh, but last year 73,000. So actually, that's how the population keeps growing from now on, is through immigration. So that's an important process. The big point, the take-home lesson here is that the seats in schools are being left empty. There isn't enough people for schools to be able to select for studentship. And it also means that in the working place, there's going to be a lot of places left empty. There's companies need people that can work for them. So that's the bottom line of what's going on here. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon. Now, few words about working in Finland. And basically, this is something that you need to understand. Unlike in other countries, in Finland, it's quite strict. You don't really get a job unless you have a degree or certificate. There aren't really a whole lot of jobs available which you could just walk into. So you need to have schooling, you need to have a certificate, you need to have skills and knowledge, and that's what vocational schools give you. And so basically, that's the bottom line. Uh, Now, I can go into at length talking about different fields. Suffice it to say that labor market is a very complex equation of supply and demand cycles, and these things tend to change over time as well. But as I just previously showed you, the number of births dwindling, uh, that would lead listener to assume that there's going to be a lot of availability in employment wise in companies throughout Finland in the upcoming years. So the number of working age folk is lessening, and we need all available hands. Now, some fields are better than others. Right now, healthcare and IT have been excellent examples of fields where there have been urgent need. I would add to this list restaurant and catering business, particularly cooks, are one area which I see come up a lot on the list of uh, uh, working or job market. Now, a lot of people want to know about the possibility of working during studies. Now, if you attend Finnish Future Fast program, where you come to Finland for about 4 months plus 1 or 2 months of applying time, so it's up to 6 months in Finland, you cannot work during that fast program. But if you are accepted to be a vocational student in Finland, you can work on the side, and the rule is that you can work up to 30 hours per week on average. So throughout the year. So that means that sometimes you may work full time, like perhaps during the summer recess or something like that. But then of course, if you our full time, by the way, is up to 40 hours a week. Of course, that means that you have to work less during the school year. And usually students have things to do other than time to work. So that works out pretty good. I haven't heard people exceeding these numbers. So school needs to come first, of course, but it is possible to work on the side during the school year. Another note of caution is that you might not be able to keep a regular job because the schooling can take up a lot of time. You also have practical placements, as I was saying, and those may sometimes need to be on evenings and weekends. Now, here's just a quick slide on after graduating. A lot of people are interested in what kind of salaries people have. This is for practical nurses. Obviously, salary goes up as you get more knowledgeable, you have more working years under your belt, but we're talking somewhere in the range of 2,000, 2,300 euros is like the starting salaries. So this is for people that have the degree, and these figures are reported by the Super, which is workers union. How easy is it to find employment? This shows that for each 100 practical nurses, there's 4 that so 4% that are out of jobs. So I'd say it's fairly easy, not a whole lot of unemployment in practical nursing. Moving right along, a few notes regarding immigration. So first of all, I'm going to try to clarify some confusion. People ask about A-type or B-type of visa. So university students are typically granted the A-type of visa. And then a secondary degree, which vocational schooling belongs to, is granted a B-type of visa. And now I need to stress that this is not directly related to the family uniting. This is your visa type. It's also important to realize that if you maintain a good rapport, meaning that you pass, you do studies, you complete what you need to do, your studies go forward, you maintain a good status with the school, extending a visa is pretty straightforward. It's pretty automatic if you maintain a good status. Now, a lot of people are willing to bring members of family. Now, I need to stress that this means immediate family. So it's, for example, if you are a parent, that means your children or your husband or somebody you have legally registered partnership with. Also, if you are a child, then your parents are considered immediate family. And so these are it is possible to do these things. However, there are a few caveats. The uniter, the person bringing the family members to Finland, has to be legally in Finland. So visas and everything have to be in order. And the uniter has to be a worker here or entrepreneur, or I suppose this is very important, a studentship. If you're a student, that qualifies as well. Now, another thing that needs to be mentioned is there are certain monetary sums of financial support that is required in order to unite a family member. And so this is a somewhat complex area as well. There are variables such as, are you gainfully employed in Finland? If you are, then you are also earning a salary, so that's taken into consideration. But there are other options such as, can you show that you have a certain amount of money on your bank account in order to function as the uniter? So those are the kinds of things that go into this consideration of uniting family members to Finland. So that was actually my presentation. So I'm gonna stop presenting and moving on with the program.
Thank you, Veka. And could you see my camera on yet? If yes, please type in the message for me.
Sure can.
Yes. My name is Haley Hangtran, and you can call me Haley. I used to study and live in Finland for 6 years. Uh, After the whole time living in Finland for those years, I realized the most important key to live in Finland is the language. And as my colleague Evelyn shared to you in the previous section, that Finnish Future is kind of a bridge to bring you guys from over the world to Finland and to get a good quality of educational system. And so I will show you kind of simple step into Finland. This is also the quite simple picture about what Finnish Future could do for you. As you can see here, the first thing, as I mentioned, we need to study language. And in Finland, we speak two main languages, Finnish and Swedish. So the first thing, the first barrier you could overcome is studying language with Finnish Future. And we will help you to reach level B1.1. And till now, there's only Finnish Future could have the really high quality of teachers team to teach you and to offer and provide you the B1.1 qualification. After reaching level B1.1, you could apply for schools. Evelyn also mentioned we have almost 100 schools from in throughout Finland, and vocational schools. We have really good connection, as Veka just shared with you. Then we will apply for schools. Finnish Future team also help you with all the needed documents, also help you do some kind of CVs or introduction video clips to submit to the schools, and then you will come to the interview with the principal of the schools, online or on site. Yes, it depends on which program you choose. And then the next step after passing the interview, you will study free tuition. Yes, free tuition at vocational school in Finland. After those time in vocational school, you could choose whether you study for higher education after vocational school, or you start to work in professional fields. I'm moving to next slide. Finnish Future provide two main products. Is that first, sometimes we could call this is on-site. We will have intensive 6 months in studying Finnish language. And then the second one is VESH. You have to study Finnish for 12 months online. And I am here show the fees of the program that you need to pay for Finnish Future without any extra fee. And which program is depends on what you need to arrange. For example, you need to go to Finland as soon as possible and learn Finnish language as soon as possible. You can choose fast. But if not, you need time to arrange your life or your work in your home countries and spend more time with family to arrange some more documents. You can choose fast. Yes, you can see here. In FAST, you will start monthly, and we have really flexible schedule for FAST program. for the fast, we need to have fixed starting time. For example, we will have 2 months online and then 4 months in Finland study on site. And in 4 months in Finland, you will have fully scheduled in Finnish. Of course, you will really fast to get acquaintance with the Finnish environment to live and to study. You will stay in our campus in Finland. You just see the cost from last slide I show. You need to pay kind of 7,000 for fast and 14,000 euros for fast program. But that's just not just for the language. We will help you to achieve B1.1 and then help you to consult the suitable study and have really clear career paths. It depends on your own experience, your kind of your favorite subject that you want to learn. And we also next support you through school recruitment and of course the residence permit application process as well. Our main target is help you to be immigrated in Finland, and we will go with each of you till you are stable to study in Finland. Yes, that's it for my short presentation. And next, I will introduce you to really special guest today. This is Miss Lake from Thailand, and she's studying vocational school in Finland at the moment, and she joined Finance Future. Now she study, and I hope she could share her story and experience with you guys today.
Okay. Hi, hello everyone. My name is Lek. I come from Thailand, and then I see the point that the interview and the officer says Finnish language is very important when you live in Finland. And yes, I realized that Finnish language is very, very important. So if you're good at Finnish, so you have a lot of opportunity of the job, plenty of job waiting for you. I come from Thailand, and I interested in Finland. I want to study and work in Finland, and I think Finland is open more opportunity for everyone. And now I am 45 years old. I begin to learn Finnish just last year. And first thing that I said, Finnish is very difficult, but it's very important if you know Finnish. So I start to research the language school, and then I find Finnish Future. So I went to the website and I read about the school, and I see a lot of good comment from students, from the parents. So I'm not hesitate to make the decision. And when I study in Finance Future, I feel a support environment. The teacher are very kind, and she understands student. And teacher are very enthusiasm to listen to the student. And I have many questions. I have some question I can ask her, and she explained me, especially when I did the homework. I don't know what to do this assignment. So I asked her, and she explained me until I can do it and submit assignment on time. And then, yeah, and I think you have to find the motivation or something inspire you to learn Finnish. And I find Finnish is important, and I make inspiration that I like to see the cartoon. Moomin is the famous cartoon in Finland. So I watch cartoon, I listen to the song, and I learn it I enjoy it. And then I become successful. Finally, I passed the exam and I get B1.1. And then very important, I can apply to the practical nurse in Finland. So now I can study and live in Finland. And I think Finnish language is very difficult, but not too much difficult. If I can do it, everyone can do it too. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm really thankful that you said that Finnish Future bring really supportive help to you and you trust in Finnish Future. That really great inspired to us. And could you share with me how old are you?
Now I am 45 years old.
Okay, and it's really great that you could make it. And do you have any difficulties, or what is the biggest challenges you face while learning Finnish?
I would say difficult is my biggest challenge in my life. And Finnish language is difficult, but I want to achieve it. So then I compete it, I beat it, so I win. And so sometimes you don't think is like Finnish is difficult. If you set a goal, you want to come to Finland, you have to think positive, and then you become a winner. Yes.
That's great. Thank you. And I just heard that you have many resources to learn Finnish by yourself. Kind of besides just study with Finnish Future, you watch cartoon, right? And
Yes.
could you give us here maybe some helpful resources to study Finnish?
I like cartoons, so I watch Moomin. You can Google search on the internet. You can see the cute Moomin is a beautiful character. So I just want to know what they talk, and then I keep listening and learning, and I learning with happy. So I don't think it's force me to do. I do it because I like it. So I do it, I learn it, and then I become successful.
Okay, that's great. And could you share more detail about your job experience, or the way you find a job? Do you have any part-time job right now in Finland?
Okay, I go to TE website, and then they got everything in the website. So you can search, okay, I study practical nurse, so I do about the nurse. So they will collect all of the job about nurse healthcare for you, and then you just apply online. It's very, very easy. You don't have to go to the office, so just do it in your home, in your room. So it's very convenient. Yeah, everything is just online. Interview online, apply online. You don't have to go to that office by yourself. It's very, very convenient. So I like it.
Have you received any job opportunity yet?
Yes, I
Since you
did.
were in Finland? Yeah.
Yes, I did. I applied for the practical nurse in Finland, and then they ring me, and then they ask me what you learn. They interview me, and then I said I study practical nurse in Stepcollatus. So they said they interest me, but the thing is they need 40 credits. But at that time, I just arrived in Finland, just 2 months, and I don't have credit enough to reach 40 credits. So I just said, maybe next time. could I work with you next time if I reached 40 credit that you want? So she said, the company said, okay, you can apply again and do interview again. Yes.
Wow, but that's so great because you just arrived in Finland after 2 months and then you got the opportunities. That's really great. Okay, and maybe I have one more question with you. Because you share you really like steps and step kind of offer you really good accommodation and some others offers. So how about your friends and other people, relatives? Do you want to introduce them to come to Finland and study and work in Finland, just like your experience, your story?
Yes, I want to introduce my niece, and now she's just 5 years old. Yeah, she's very cute, and I want to bring her here and then just study primary school here, study, and then yeah, I want to bring her here, and she has to study finish. I will tell her everything here is very wonderful, and if she come here, she will gain the bright future. And then anything support you, and this is safe place and good environment, and then the people are friendly, easygoing, nothing stress. Just relax and then come enjoy environment here. Yes.
Okay, I just said that I just asked you one question, but now I want to ask one more question because I see you really happy face today, and I
Yes.
want to ask because you come to Finland alone and have kind of you need to face kind of new environment, new weather, everything so new. How could you arrange all the every steps in your life, such as arrange the time study schedule, then how to face with cold weather? Do you have any difficulties with that? Just share with people.
Honestly, myself, for me, I think Finland is very nice country. I feel like I stay in my hometown because the weather is sometimes okay. Winter is cold, but we have the heater in the building, in the room, and we can prepare. I mean, we can prepare the clothes, suitable clothes in Finland. And I get the reasonable price clothes in Finland. I always go to shopping, the clothes on sale, and you can get the good quality clothes and good price. So no worry about this. And about the food, okay, we have, summer. In Finland, they got summer, and I like summer. You can enjoy the sunshine. And I think the clothes I wear in summer is similar to I wear in Thailand. I wear the pants, t-shirts, and shoes the same. So I don't think it's different or not a problem for me. And food is very plenty and variety of food. I like fish. I like salmon. I like salmon soup. I like salad. I like donut, tea, coffee. Everything is similar in Thailand, so I don't miss the food in Thailand. So I think they are not a problem. Yeah. So if you come here and then stay here, you can see nothing is a problem. You can manage yourself, and you can enjoy here, and happy to learn language, and then you can success in your life. You can see the bright future waiting for you. Yes.
Thank you, Miss Lake. We thank you for your joining today. And if the audience, you guys have any further questions, just leave in the Q&A part. We will reply you soon. And if you target that questions directly to Miss Leg, we will leave her respond to you as well. So we will move to the Q&A part. Maybe Mr. David, could you show our last part about about the information of Finland's future, and then we will read those questions and targeting to the replier.
Thank you, Lê, for amazing sharing.
Pleasure.
Yeah, now we will go to Q&A questions. And I have a questions for Veka. So as a practical nurse, before getting the acceptance, do we need to show health certificate from medical center?
Okay, here I am. Sorry. So, yeah, medical information, I'm a little hesitant to use that term. It's more about vaccination records. But so if we're talking about practical nurses, you do need to have your basic vaccinations in order. This has a lot to do with practical training as you go on to practice in the work life. You cannot make people around you, the patients, more sick than they already are, for example. So this is really a practical reason for this. So vaccinations are required, vaccination records. But as far as medical records per se, that's not true. As a matter of fact, some foreign students provide too much information, the kind of information that we really don't want to have in schools.
Yes, thank you. And one more is that do all the vocational schools offer the free accommodations, or we need to reach the requirements of something to have the free accommodation in vocational school?
I didn't understand the second part, but I'll answer the first part. No, not all schools offer free accommodation. The key question is, does the vocational school have a dormitory? Okay, actually, that's the key question. If the school doesn't have a dormitory, they can't offer a free dormitory accommodation. So the second question is, does the dormitory have room? That's something that only the school can answer to. Typically, these are not problems, but you can't assume, you can't take it for granted. But especially if you stay out of city centers, by the way, vocational schools in city centers typically do not have dormitories. But if you go a little further outside to the rural areas, there are a lot of times there is beautiful dormitories, and there's often also a lot of room. So that's just for something for you to consider. Now, the second part I didn't catch. What was the second part of the question?
I just asked about the requirements to apply for the free accommodation.
Requirement is that you're a student at the school. That's the number one requirement. Other than that, there may be something minor school specific, but typically not. The main thing is you need to be a vocational student in that school, and then you can apply for the dormitory housing.
Yes, the next questions, I think Mrs. Leg, can you help me with that? We know that you are in STEP vocational school. So do you share with other students, or you have your single room? And can you bring the bed with you?
Now I am out of my room now. I just sit in the living room. So I cannot show my room now. Sorry about that. But I can send a picture to the Finite Future after finish seminar. No problem.
But your room is the single room or the double room?
Single room.
And wow, the dorm do the dorm let you bring the pet, dog or cat with you?
The dormitory, no pets, but my room is have they arrange offer bed and cupboard and desk for student. You don't need to bring your bed. Come.
Yes. And one more is, does your dorm is far from your school? Do you need
not
to?
at all. Not at all. It's located in the same area of the school. I just wake up and then I walk to my class just 5 minutes. So everything is near me. I don't have to take a bus. No, it's.
Oftentimes the dormitory is right on campus, right
Yeah.
where the school is. So
Yes.
I think from the Q&A part, there are a couple of questions for Miss Lek as well. Please, sorry. Yeah, you need to show up
Pleasure.
again. Yeah, so happy to see your face. I see here, someone, Mr. Tín Đặng asked that, what did you prepare for the principal's interview as a nursing learner? Like after you get P1.1 qualification, then come up with to the interview with the principal. So what did you prepare? And yeah, just show him.
I prepare that. Just think about the question in my mind that they should ask the interview. Okay, just introduce yourself. Okay. What is your name? What is your family? Where you from? And then what is your education background? And why you are interested in to study a practical nurse. And then I just think about the question that before is related to my study, and I just prepare my talk every day. Just talk a bit, 5 minutes a day, every day. And then I just go to see YouTube about the practical nurse in Finland, what they ask about the question. So I have to do some research, and then I prepare, I take notes, and I just talk to myself in front of the mirror. Just do it when you're free and relax. So if you get B1.1, so then you can relax just a bit, and then you just go for the question. Just think about the question that you have. They're gonna talk. Just that. Relax. Nothing serious.
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. That was very, very interesting. Couple things I just want to quickly add. This is a minor point, but oftentimes it's actually not the principal who conducts the interview. So that's easier for everybody. It really isn't the principal a lot of times. Another thing I do want to say, just as a pointer, it would be a good idea to prepare, like you said, Lek, but also maybe study a few key words like relating to the field that you're going to apply to. So that you know some of the terminology. They may ask about your work experience. If you have work experience, you should be at least know those terms in Finnish. That will make a good impression.
You want to ask me? No? Yes.
Yes, and one more. I promise just one more. So you mentioned after 40 credits, someone wants to know that you can legally take an offer for a permanent job or just an apprenticeship?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what kind of the offer you receive at that time?
A part-time job.
Okay, thanks to hear. Yeah, thank you.
And I have a questions for Veka. Many guests want to learn in children's instructor. So can you describe what exactly what is learning in this subject, in this major?
Wow. I understand where this question comes from, and it just so happens that I know a little bit about that particular field. I never appreciated how much information there is actually. I mean, you ask yourself, why do we need to study for 3 years to become children's instructor? Well, many of us have our own children. We know how to be around children. But see, there lies the tale. It's not just about children's instructor isn't the job is not to just accommodate the children and play with them. It's actually also educate them and to provide them with guidance and knowledge and information. So there is actually a lot of things that you have to learn. There are also some legal things that you have to learn. So once you look into the program, and by the way, at least in my presentation, there's a link to the English pages of the content in all of the vocational degrees in Finland. You can find it there. So you can look up the modules that are part of a children's educator or children's instructor, and you will see that there's actually a reason for all of those. So there's perhaps more than meets the eye in that degree. And I need to say that it's a good field to get into. We estimated in Finnish Future that there's about 2,000 jobs available within the capital region. I know that that number doesn't probably mean anything to anybody, but in our standards, 2,000 is a lot. So that's a field where you can get employed after you complete the studies.
And yes, I received one more question is that there are any professions that are currently the top priority in need of human resources in Finland and that you recommend we should study?
Is that for me?
Yeah. What is the top priority major in Finland that lack of human resources? So you can recommend to our students who still don't know which jobs which program in vocational school they study.
I understand this question as to what would be a good field to get into. Is that the question? Like, if you want to get employed in this country, what would be a good vocational field? Is that the?
Yeah.
I understand this question. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said in my presentation, I currently think practical nursing is an example of such a field. There are a lot of people retiring, and so that will create. See, we need to think 3-4 years forward from this point, and so practical nursing is one. Another thing is IT. There seems to be a shortage in the IT. So anything related to information technology, from programmers to game developers to people that answer the phone when I have a problem with my computer. So all sorts of availabilities. And then as a third one, I mentioned culinary science, meaning cooks, servers, wait staff, restaurant workers. That's another field. Now, having said this, from looking forward 3 or 4 years, I have a feeling that there are a lot of, in this manual labor area, there are there will be a lot of needs. I'd also like to say metal workers, welders, there's going to be a demand for them in certain areas. There already is a big shortage of welders. So automotive industry, actually, automotive technicians is another field. Yeah, sorry, this is very broad answer, but you also need to consider the fact that I'll give you an example of an area that seems like a bad choice right now, and that's construction. There's a lot of people actually not getting a job in construction right now. But even that, in construction, we think that in 3-4 years' time, there's going to be a shortage of construction workers. So these are cycles, et cetera. But I'd say that manual labor is pretty safe bet if employment is what you're after.
So, Haley, do you have more questions?
Yes, I received a really typical question from the chat that two-step help only has practical nurse major, some other majors, and I just put the step school website link from chat, so you guys could come and check all the information. Of course, for other schools as well, we just come to Google and put the name of the school. Then we could figure out so many helpful information there about the study majors. And some people just ask me about the age range to study vocational school. Veka, could you please reply these questions?
Yeah, sure.
What is the age range and when we cannot work anymore in Finland?
Okay. First, let me just
Thank
say
you.
that from Finest Future, we've guided and directed students to 2 vocational fields within STEP education. One is practical nursing, and the other is children's instructor. So those 2 vocational fields we've had Finest Future students go into in STEP. About work life. So now let's start with education. Vocational education, the law doesn't really know an upper limit. You know, there's no such limit to when somebody's too old to become a student. But there is a practical limit. If you're not, you know, if you're too old to work, if you already past retirement age, then it doesn't make any sense to become a vocational student. Retirement age is around 65, 67 years. There's a little bit of a shift going on right now because they actually decided to raise the age. So as a matter of fact, I don't even know when I retire, probably never. But anyway, so that's hopefully answers your question. Around 67 years is the retirement age. Let me just say that in Finest Future student body, we have people that are considering vocational track. We have students of pretty much all ages, from 18 to 45, you know, 50. So it's a pretty broad range.
Yes, I believe so as well. Just like Miss Lake, she's 45 years old, and I believe we have still many students from 30 to 40 to 50, even 50 years old. Yes, thank you.
One guest asked about do horticulture and animal attendant have more job opportunities compared to other majors? And what exactly we do in this major?
So does horticulture offer more job opportunities than?
The others? And
Oh,
what
the others.
exactly we do in this field? Horticulture and animal attendant.
Oh, animal attendant. Okay. Okay, pretty specific questions. I'm not an expert on these, but I can have a crack at this. As far as the job market, my understanding is that our native Finnish people are not really, for some reason, they're not really applying to horticulture field in the numbers that they used to. Okay, so it's fairly easy field to get into. Another thing is that the same applies to the actual workplaces. So there are openings, and the predicament is that over the next 4 or 5 years, there's going to be a lot of people passing the retirement age. So there ought to be a lot of jobs available in these kinds of fields. Now, horticulture is a varied field. On one hand, you have flower shop types of places, but also it's a long chain of events. Those flowers and plants need to be cultivated in greenhouses, et cetera. So horticulture a lot of times has to do with working in fields or in greenhouses, growing flowers and other plants. That's another field. There is more theoretical background to it than perhaps meets the eye. So it's a 3-year degree. Hopefully that sheds some light on it.
That's really helpful response. We see here there's still so many questions, and maybe we have taken so much more from your time as schedules. So if some questions still haven't get the answer, please just follow Finance Future, and you guys could contact us directly from Finance Future fan page or through the website, so many channels from social medias, and we will show you the information after that, after right now. Yes, please. And just follow Finance Future information for more helpful knowledge to get you come to Finland, like take your dream to Finland faster. Just a moment, our team will show you how to come to Finland, and we're really thankful for your presentation today, Mr. Veka and Mrs. Lake. Thank you, and hope in the future we will have more webinars like this, because you guys bring really useful information to us.
Well, thank you. It was nice to be part of this today. I wish everybody a pleasant evening.
Yes, now you can scan the QR code for more questions and answers. So the Zalo OA is for Vietnamese, and with others, you can scan WhatsApp. Sorry that we don't have enough time to answer all your questions, but we also note it on and will answer when you contact us through Zalo or WhatsApp.
Yes, and the webinar today will be recorded. Will be recorded and sent to you guys, or we will upload to our YouTube channel. Please stay tuned and just check more information. Thank you very much for today, and I will give you a couple more minutes to get the QR code.
And one more information that we will have another webinar on 3rd of August. So the registration link will be open soon. So see you in the next webinar.
We thank you and see you. Have a pleasant night.
Thank you. Goodbye.